Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back today to this Motorsport Manager career. We're back today with the Ardennes Grand Prix, the Belgium Grand Prix, the equivalent of Spa. It is round 9 of 17. We're still doing really well here, but as we jump into this episode, we've got some big news. As we discussed in the last episode, Charles Leclerc has moved to the Ferrari team. His counterpart Alex Lynn has been demoted to the Sauber team. The new team principal at Ferrari, Gary Horner, who replaced Maurizio Rivaberni, who was fired, who now finds himself at the Ardennes team in GP3. But anyway, Gary Horner gave Alex Lynn that ultimatum for the last race that if he didn't perform up to standard, then he would be demoted, and he has gone ahead and been demoted, and Leclerc has finally been brought into the Ferrari outfit, the Maranello outfit, for the 2020 season, what is remaining of it anyway. Leclerc currently finds himself in 10th place. He has been performing pretty well this season in the Sauber. The Sauber do have the worst car, but he's somehow managed to find 18 points in that Sauber car. But he now has a stronger Ferrari car to go for. Gary Horner feeling that Ferrari need all the help they can get. They're currently 50 points behind us, and Mercedes, still the favourite to take the Constructors' crown, are 31 points ahead of them. Ferrari, who have won the most races over the last 2 seasons. In 2017 they won 8 races, the season before that 10 races. This season they have failed to win in the first 8 races, and Gary Horner, who was brought in to sort of quell the slide that is going on this season with Ferrari, he brings in Charles Leclerc. Hopefully that is going to get Ferrari back on form. If Leclerc can perform, it gives Vettel a little bit of room to perform as well. But anyway, we've also got a vote here, and you can possibly see in the background, I've actually changed the background video to a lot of retro Williams cars from the 80s, 90s, some current ones thrown in there too, so some nice cars to look at in the background. We've also got some mail here, which is choosing a vote, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the 3 qualifying sessions again. I think it's sort of affecting the AI a little bit. I'm guessing that's what's affected Ferrari pretty much this season, so I think it's just this one going back to qualifying base grid, so that should get rid of the 3 qualifying sessions. So it's going to cost us £1 million to do that, but it's going to be worth it. I do have some votes saved up for when we do get to vote on that. We've also got some new sponsors here, so if we just go in and look at what we've got Johnny Walker at $3.5 million over 21 races, Telkel $3.5 million over 21 races as well, and Epson not as much there. So it's between these two. And since Johnny Walker's offering a little bit more bonus payment just in case we need to go for it, no, it doesn't really matter what we go for here. I think Johnny Walker logo might look a bit better on the car depending on where it goes. Where does that one go? It goes right on the side of the rear wing. In this one we have an offer from a Red Bull, £25 million up front, but it is over 100 races. We have a UPS offering £400,000 per for the qualifying and race bonus payment, so I think we might go with that one, because the only other one is Lavazza, which I think is a coffee upfront payment of £1 million over 10 races. That works out at £100,000 per race. So this UPS one, since it's only 4 races long, we might as well go for this one. It's not going to last until the United States Grand Prix, but we'll put UPS right on the side of the side pod here. And what have we got here? We have got Honda. We've got quite a few car manufacturers wanting to actually go ahead and sponsor us here. We've got $2.5 million, $5.5 million up front here from Toyota, but that is over 100 races, so that is not even worth it. So $2.5 million from Honda over 21 races, or we can take £900,000 over 9 races and hope we can improve on this one. So I'm guessing we're going to go with Puma just in case as well. If that last sponsorship that we got that pays us £400,000, once that runs out we can go with Puma as well, which will offer us £200,000 per race. So we're going to go with Puma. We've got no affiliation with Honda. Obviously we do still have the Mercedes engines in this car, and the Puma goes right on the side there. So that is it for that. So I'm guessing we can just skip forward now a little bit. We've got the reliability work that is just being done, so that all the reliability work's been done. We're still working on improving the 2 engines that we've got in the car, the rear wing, the front wing, the gearboxes. I do have some parts here, that we need to get up to scratch to go in the car. So what do we have at the moment? I think everything's in the car other than this new engine that we've built, which can go into the race when we get to Ardennes, which is what we just finished the reliability work on. As for that, that is all that we can get in. No, we've got the suspensions to work on. We need to work on the reliability of these new suspensions that we've got, because these can go into the car when we get to Milan, which I think is coming up next, so we need to get that done 8 days after this race, so it's easily going to be done in time for Milan. So these two new suspensions, which we've got a bit of room to work on as well with those, so once we've got these upgraded we can go ahead and start working on the suspension. Meanwhile, with the brakes build that we're building here, everything that we're building at the moment is going to go into next year's car. As you can see, we've got 2 brakes builds done here, which everything's just focused on next year's car. The best one we can get up to a 1268, so a massive step forward we're going to be able to have next season. Although this brakes build is a little bit better than this one, isn't it? So should we put this one in the car of Norris? It's only a point better, and he's I went from delighted to happy once we changed the brakes. I'm guessing that's just because everything is being upgraded now. So if we skip ahead now, we should have the politics vote coming up, and Frank Williams a little bit unhappy at the moment since we're spending so much money in developing the car this season. But as we know, we do get a massive amount of money through the prize money at the end of the season. So we'll just get this politics vote over with, and then we can get into the actual Grand Prix weekend. It looks like a lot of guys are for this at the moment. We've got Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and Frederick Vasseur from Sauber who are all for it. We've only got Force India against it, so maybe we can only do this with 2 votes. I'm going to use 3 just to make sure that it does actually get through. So that is going to give it enough votes, I think. Yeah, we'll just do that just to make sure it does go through. So as we go through, everyone is pretty much unanimous there. We've only got Force India and Haas voting against it, and Renault actually abstained there and getting a vote for a future one. We've got spec suspensions coming up next, although we've got last place bonus payments coming up next, and we've got spec suspension, which a performance level of 150, so I want to get rid of that. So we might vote on that one against it because I don't want any spec parts in this game at the moment. But we're going to move on here. We do have the new brakes design finished now, which is an epic part, which is a 1193, which we can get up to a 1318. So what can we do with another brakes build here? We're getting through these brakes builds really quickly because once we add this, we do have this build here on the good that takes 3 days off the build. As you can see, it only takes 1 day to build 2 parts. We do have a plus 70 here. We also have the plus 50, which is the last brakes build that we did, and we've got another plus 60 here, so there's another massive step forward with the brakes here. Obviously we don't have the brakes R&D facility at level 3 unlocked, but what we would have gained, this one's actually better than anything we can get on the legendary build here. So here we go. So quite a long intro today with a lot of things to go over. Charles Leclerc is going to be in this Ferrari for this race. Alex Lynn is going to be in the Sauber. Sauber now have the worst rated car and the worst rated driver lineup, so let's just see what Alex Lynn can get out of that car and see what Charles Leclerc can get out of the Ferrari as we move into the Grand Prix weekend. Obviously we can go with UPS here, make a little bit of money. Both guys still happy with the car, so let's get into this and we'll be back with Q3, which is going to be rainy in just a second, and practice all out rain as well, so we might not get too much knowledge on the actual car for the race here. But anyway, we'll be back with Q3 in just a second. So here we go with the first qualifying lap in Q3. Both guys doing really well with their brake and tyre temps, both in the perfect range, although this first lap is a throwaway lap because it's currently raining. A lot of cars are out on intermediates. We've got the Ferrari and a McLaren on the super softs at the moment, but it is going to be dry right at the end of qualifying, so this lap isn't going to be representative of anyone's pace because we're going to be able to put a dry lap in right at the end of the session. Charles Leclerc has come out on the intermediates doing quite well. He was in first place after Q1 and 5th place after Q2. Let's just see what he can get out of this Ferrari car here. Norris meanwhile currently 5th, slowest out of everyone that's out on track at the moment. The super soft looks like it was the tyre to be on because the track dried out part way around, and Ocon slowest out of those as well. I'm guessing most people down here are just going to be slower as well since the track's dried out and they're all on intermediates. So we see Hamilton 7th, Verline, then Ricciardo and Magnussen there in the Mercedes as well. So we'll get back in a couple of seconds and we'll see what we can do on our second flying lap in Q3. The final flying lap of the session is now underway. Norris is on course at the moment. Ocon just starts his lap as well. We've got Leclerc, who's going to be the last car across the line here. So Norris is going to be the first of our 2 Williams cars to go around and set a time here. Norris is going quicker, obviously. We know he should be a lot quicker. He is up on the pole position time at the moment, but Hamilton currently going quickest. and he's actually down now. So let's just see what happens on this lap. So Norris is going to come across. Hamilton goes quickest with a 1:26.9. You've got Vettel, Magnussen and Wehrlein who have all finished their laps. Norris goes fifth. A good lap from Norris. Ocon manages to go up into third, and Charles Leclerc beats out Sebastian Vettel by 0.4 of a second here. Leclerc with an absolutely great lap, but Hamilton clearing away on pole position here. Here's the grid for the 2020 Belgium Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton in pole position, joining him on the front row of the grid in his maiden race for this Ferrari outfit. Charles Leclerc second place ahead of his teammate Sebastian Vettel in third place. Esteban Ocon gets fourth place, rounding out the second row of the grid. Kevin Magnussen, who currently has a dodgy neck, in fifth place in the Mercedes, followed by Pascal Wehrlein in the Red Bull. Lando Norris is in seventh place, followed by Stoffel van Dorn in the McLaren, and Danny Rick finds himself a long way down the order here, ninth place, just ahead of Valtteri Bottas in 10th place. Then we've got Roman Grosjean in the Haas 11th, Hulkenberg 12th in the Renault, Felix Rosenqvist in the second Renault 13th, and Max Verstappen still struggling in this Force India team. Obviously Force India, the rumours still swirling about them that they will be leaving Formula 1 at the end of the season and being replaced by another team on the grid. Carlos Sainz in the Haas is 15th, the second Force India Sergio Perez is 16th, Alex Lynn in his debut race with the Sauber is 17th here. Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso is 18th, Marcus Ericsson 19th, and Billy Johnson way off form in the Toro Rosso, rounding out the back row of the grid. So here we go, hopefully we can get a decent start here. There's only 31 laps here, and we've got some actual super softs left over since it was raining for most of qualifying. Ocon makes a poor start and Kevin Magnussen gets through. Looks like Norris has made a good start here and might be able to get his teammate, as that is Pascal Wehrlein going round Ocon as well. So what we've got here is we've got the super softs to start on. We can do about 8 laps on this tyre. We do have super softs left over as well because of the rain during qualifying, so they can do 11 laps, the fresh pair of super softs, so we can get onto that, and then for the end of the race we can decide to either go with the soft or the medium to finish the race on. It is a 2-stop strategy. There is no way to do a 1-stop with the worn tyres at the start here, so that is what we are aiming for. We're going to try and get as far as we can. There is the possibility of 1 stopping if you can just sort of, we might just stretch it out. It depends if we can do the 8 laps here right at the start. Everyone else is sort of holding on at the moment with their tyres. There is a chance of 1 stopping, so we might even just try stretch out for that. If we could stretch out for that, it would be amazing, but I wouldn't be expecting either of our cars to be able to stretch these tyres out, which the projection is 8 laps. We would need to get to around 11 laps if we were going to try attempt to 1-stop this race. We'll just see what the AI does and sort of respond to them, although we see a lot of these guys. Lynn has made a really good start in that Sauber, got himself up to 11th place. These guys that have started out on the medium tyre, they will be 1-stopping this race. So everyone who was outside the top 10, maybe and Roman Grosjean and Rosenqvist, if they go into a medium, Grosjean with an amazing start, if they can go onto a medium tyre to finish this race on, they will be 1-stopping. So to cover off the teams that are a little bit further down the order, that is what we're going to have to do at the moment. Whereas Roman Grosjean has got ahead of both of our cars now in that Haas, and whereas we're running 7th and 8th here. Ocon with that start that wasn't the best, allowed his teammate through. Danny Ricciardo's about to go through as well. We're just trying to stretch at the moment, so we don't have much room to push with the tyre. At the moment we can't actually do much as regards to pushing the tyre. We could push forward and maybe try and catch the Haas up if we wanted to, but I want to try and stretch these tyres out to try go for the 1-stop, because it looks like the AI cars in front of us might be trying to stretch out to go for the 1-stop, because this medium tyre can do 20 to 22 laps. So if you can stretch this out, it says it can only do another 5 to 7 laps. 5 laps is really the estimate, but if we can get it past up to somewhere around lap 10, there is a chance of getting that medium tyre through to the end of the race here, which might mean we split strategies with these guys, maybe go for a 2-stop with one of the cars and try go for the 1-stop with one of the cars who's the better on this medium tyre. They can both get the same out of this medium tyre, so that is what we're going to go for. It is 20 to 22 laps from both of these guys, so it's possibly whoever's going to be in the lead is going to get the preferential treatment for the... Oh, and that was 6. That was a really slow exit off of that corner there for Roman Grosjean. Really slow out of that corner. allows Norris and Ricciardo to jump in. So Norris moves up to 6th place here as Hamilton is currently leading this race from Vettel. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, is on the back of this little pack as well, right up there with his teammate. He started the race in 2nd, but Vettel has obviously managed to get back past him. And Magnussen in the Mercedes currently just in front of Norris. This dodgy neck is going to affect him as this race goes on, and in front of him is the Red Bull of Pascal Wehrlein here. And where is Alex Lynn? Alex Lynn's dropped down a few positions now in this Sauber to 14th place. Ocon, meanwhile, is down in 9th and currently battling with Roman Grosjean here. Should we give him a little bit of room to push with the fuel to try clear Roman here? And can we get him on this little chicane? No, we can't. Can Ocon get the run? Obviously, we know we have a better engine than this Haas car. If we push in overtake mode, can we get him? It's yet to be seen whether we can get him. We're going to have to try and push here because he's possibly just slowing us down. We're going to have to push the tyres, which Ocon would have to do the 2-stop just to try and clear Roman here. It looks like Roman's pretty quick around here, but we should be able to get him down the pit straight. So there we go, and immediately get these tyres back into conserve mode now. And as it is with Norris just a little bit further up the road, he's just ahead of Ricciardo. But what we're going to do is try conserve because we're going to go for the 1-stop here. We get into 6 laps and we've used about 36% of this tyre. This can only go to 20% usually before you start losing a lot of performance. So the 2-stop is possibly still the preferred strategy here. We're just going to conserve to see if we can get to about lap 20. If we can do, all the better, but if we can't, then we're just going to have to take it and go for the 2-stop. Danny Rick is going through his super soft pretty quickly at the moment. He will be 2-stopping. Wehrlein's gone through it as well. Red Bull usually a little bit more aggressive this season than the other teams on their strategy, but Hamilton's doing a good job at the moment of holding onto his tyres. As we see, he's held on a little bit longer. He's possibly chasing the 1-stop here, as are the Ferraris, but both Ferraris in front of Hamilton now. Hamilton has conceded the lead of this race as Ocon is just parked up behind Danny Rick. We're not really racing him at the moment because we know Danny Rick's going to be doing 2 stops. We're just seeing if we can stretch out to do 2 stops. And we've got Kevin Magnussen in front. Kevin Magnussen is going to dive into the pits really early. We're going to be able to see what sort of tyre he comes back out on here. And we might even run in backup mode just to make sure we can find a way to lap 10. And then that would give us the option of trying to figure out whether we can go for the 1-stop here, if we can get onto the medium tyre, and then we can finish on a super soft if we don't think we're going to be able to do it. Magnussen has gone for the medium. I don't think he can stretch out quite enough to get through here, but he could do. He could actually get through here, so Ocon's tyres are actually a little bit more worn, as we know, than Norris's, so Ocon's going to be the first car into the pits. I think we can do another lap after this one before the tyre starts to degrade a little bit, and we've been pushing Ocon a little bit more there on the fuel than we have with Norris, and Norris is we're going to get both cars recovering the fuel. We've got Rosenquist behind us at the moment. These soft tyres are possibly coming into a better operating range than the super softs that these guys are on at the moment, so we've got another lap maybe out of these tyres. Could we get another lap out of them, or are we going to have to pit this lap? I think it's going to have to be this lap. There's 22 laps remaining. It's right on the crossover here. Have we got another lap in Norris? I don't think we have, because once these tyres get down past 20%, they do lose their effectiveness. So we're going to get in for the medium. It's a little bit risky here, so we're going to go safe. I thought these guys that we've currently got working the pits would have been able to stay fit for more than one race. Obviously, McLaughlin and Mullin can't stay fit for more than one race here, and we actually need to change the tyre here, don't we? So park condition, everything looking fine, so we're going to go with a safe pit stop, and this should be our only pit stop now until the end of the race. We're currently 4th and 5th. Magnussen, are we going to be able to get back out in front of him? It doesn't look like it. These guys are possibly going a little bit quicker. They've possibly got the undercut working, but we should be a little bit stronger than them. And we've got Vettel. Hamilton in the pit fixing something. He got a new upgrade as we double stacking the pits. Hamilton fixing something here. Have they just put a new upgrade in the car Mercedes that has failed on them? But we get Norris out of the pits. He's currently going to get out into... Oh, and he's just behind Pascal Wehrlein there. And Ocon comes out behind Danny Rick as well. So we can just sit in neutral mode here for a little bit. But we do know that we want to conserve this tyre if we do want to run it until the end of the race here. So if we just move forward with this Grand Prix, we'll just speed things up for a little bit, because we've just got a couple of cars in front as we try to clear the cars that haven't come into the pits yet. We've got Magnussen and Wehrlein in front. Charles Leclerc has now pitted, Leclerc is in and out of the pits. Is he going to get out in front of Sebastian Vettel, who's coming round the corner? The pit lane obviously cuts them out, but there goes Vettel a long way up the road. Leclerc comes out into 10th place, which is effectively second place here. So the Ferraris are effectively first and second here, which is working out for Gary Horner, the Ferrari team principal at the moment. Obviously, he brought Leclerc in to much improve this Ferrari team, and if they're going to score a 1-2 finish here, puts them in a really good position for the rest of the season. Although Vettel has gone for the soft tyre, has Leclerc. They are aggressively chasing a two-stop strategy here, which is a risk here, especially since Vettel was the last car to come into the pits out of pretty much everyone. No, Leclerc was. Leclerc could have easily got onto that medium and gone to the end of the race. So I'm guessing everyone else is going to try to stop this race. So should we change up what we're doing at the moment? But we've got all these cars in front. We're just going to have to wait and see what we're like compared to all these other cars that still have to pit. Obviously, I think we're going to get out in front, but Romain Grosjean, if he comes out on a medium, if Verstappen comes out on a medium, they're going to definitely one-stop this race. And they could be in a really good position to score points from the sort of outside position that they were in early on in the race with where they qualified. Grosjean, meanwhile, Esteban Ocon has been passed by Valtteri Bottas at the moment. So should we get Ocon maybe pushing, because he's sort of fallen a long way down the order here. He's currently effectively 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. He's effectively 9th place at the moment, and he's got Felix Rosenqvist right on his tail. Another pit stop's going to cost us a lot of time here. As you see, Grosjean is in the pits now. They're going to be coming out. Are we going to be able to get in front of them? Norris is coming round. Norris goes round. Is Ocon going to be able to get past them as well? Ocon does, which is a good job there. Grosjean has gone for the super stop, as has Verstappen. So it looks like pretty much everyone is going to try to stop this race. We're going to stick with the one stop with Norris, but we'll just see if we can move Ocon a little bit higher up the order here. We're going to get him pushing a little bit. We're going to get him pushing because he's under pressure from Felix Rosenqvist at the moment. We're going to get Ocon pushing. He's going to switch to a two-stop strategy here. We're going to have to try clear Bottas, Ricciardo, Hamilton, who has come in to fix something. I don't know what he actually came in to fix, but Hamilton a long way out of position. Mercedes struggling at the moment. I thought I'd fixed all the reliability issues, but obviously once these teams start building new parts and they rush them into the car, obviously the reliability of that part is not there anymore. So maybe it's something I have to check on before each race to make sure the AI cars are fully reliable. The AI does a terrible job sometimes of putting unreliable parts in the car. As we saw, that part was fading by the time Hamilton made his first pit stop on lap 9, which is not what we want. And Ocon here even pushing all out on this medium tyre, not picking up much time here, and not even catching Bottas. So should we just sort of conserve and revert back to that one stop? We've not actually used that much more of the tyre than what Norris has used at the moment. We've gone 5 laps and used about a fifth of the tyre. Obviously this medium, I think it can go to 10%. Can't go all the way down to 0, so it's going to be pretty risky for us to even try the one stop. So should we get pushing with both cars here, we're just going to have to do it out. We're going to have to keep Norris ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton is going for the 2-stop as well. It looks like pretty much everyone is going to be chasing the 2-stop strategy, and this medium is possibly not going to be able to make it. So we're going to go a little bit more aggressive now. We are going to 2-stop this race and just see if we can keep Norris ahead. See if we can sort of catch up to Kevin Magnussen as well, who's been struggling at the moment in this Mercedes car. He's ahead at the moment. He's been held up by Perez and Gasly, who have yet to make a pit stop. I'm guessing they will be chasing to the end of the race because they can go medium and soft, unless they do decide to come out on a super soft. But Norris putting Magnussen under pressure here. Can Norris get close? He's got Hamilton right on his tail. Ocon still struggling with Bottas and Ricciardo here. Not the best race from Esteban here, but Norris outperforming his teammate. Charles Leclerc is within, he's 10 seconds behind his teammate. Lynn currently running second here, but he does have to make a pit stop. Obviously he's going to be pretty high up once he comes out of the pits because he's been running a long time. If it's a 20-second pit stop, he's going to be quite up there. Even with Esteban Ocon, he's going to be right up there. Is is Alex Lynn, and yeah, Norris is right on the back of Magnussen here. Magnussen manages to get past Perez. Perez is going to be diving into the pits. Hopefully we can get past Perez. Perez just sort of moves over there. He's going to hold up Lewis Hamilton for a bit, and we make the move on Kevin Magnussen. Can we make it stick? Norris makes it stick, and can he get the run on Pierre Gasly here around this hairpin? It looks like we've got the run out of here. We know we've got a better engine than that Toro Rosso, the Honda powered Toro Rosso. We get past up into 6th place. Marcus Ericsson in front in the Sauber as well. Can we clear Marcus Ericsson pretty quickly? Both Mercedes going side by side. We clear Marcus Ericsson as well, which gives us a little bit of breathing space here as we put 2 slower cars between us and the Mercedes. And we've got Pascal Wehrlein right in our sights here. Can we catch up to Pascal? He came in a little bit earlier. I'm guessing he's just sort of holding back at the moment now. And we've got room to push with Norris. Can we get right on the back? We're too far behind the Ferraris, who are on the quicker tyres as well at the moment. But if we can clear Pascal Wehrlein pretty early here, and then maybe push a tiny little bit, try and open up that gap, we get past Pascal pretty early. And if Norris can open up this little bit of a gap now, hopefully Pascal is going to be there just to hold off the Mercedes. The Mercedes at the moment are still struggling. They're still behind the Sauber. They've managed to get past Pierre Gasly, but they're stuck behind Marcus Ericsson at the moment, whereas Ocon has managed to pass Bottas at some point, and we're just going to get pushing now, see if we can get him past Danny Rick. Don't think we're quick enough. Oh, and it looks, I just say we don't think we're quick enough, but we get right on the back of Danny Rick there. Are we going to pick up? Is Ricciardo going slow here? Not really. He's pushing the fuel a little bit. Maybe he's only just started to do that in response here. So Ocon, meanwhile, 9th place. Can we catch up here? We're almost on the back of the Mercedes, who are being really slowed up by this Sauber of Marcus Ericsson at the moment. And Lynn has made his pit stop. He's out into 14th place. He's come out on a soft tyre. He should be able to get that through to the end of the race now. So he's in a pretty good position to move up the points, because everyone in front does have to pit once again. Although we've gone through half of this medium tyre now. How much have we managed to get out of it? 10 laps, and we've done 47%. So there is still a chance that we could even one-stop this even after pushing this little bit. So we'll just see how far we can make this medium go now. We're in a really good position now that we're there. Vettel and LeClerc are clear of, almost clear of Norris. They're going to be able to make a second pit stop and be pretty clear. Whereas Hamilton does have to pit again. I'm guessing Wehrlein's going to attempt pitting again. It's just these cars a little bit lower down the order. Maybe Alex Lynn, who's going to the end, who's 13 seconds behind us. If we just keep pushing, could we clear him? We're doing 133s. He's doing 133s as well. It's just sort of like the cars, Alex Lynn, that we've got to sort of cover off here. But no, we'll keep pushing. It's going to be pretty close to get this medium through to the end of the race. And ever since everyone else around us is going to be 2-stopping, we're just going to follow the 2-stop. So Norris 3rd, we just got under 10 laps to go here. Ocon 7th place, he's still chasing Kevin Magnussen. We managed to get past Danny Rick, didn't we? And we're going to keep pushing here. Maybe catch up to Hamilton and Magnussen, who took a long time to get past Ericsson, and they might even not have got past him when Ericsson pitted. But Ocon right on the back here, he's got Kevin Magnussen in his sights. Can we get the run? Obviously we know we're really quick down the pit straight. We've got a couple of corners to go here before we reach that point. And here we go. It looks like Magnussen's got enough power in that Mercedes this time around to stay in front of Ocon here. But obviously our tyre is now overheated. But since we're chasing the 2-stop, we can just keep pushing here. And maybe we're going to see some of these cars maybe even try the 1-stop, but I wouldn't expect it to. We're just going to keep pushing. The tyres overheated, possibly losing their performance for a little bit. So we'll just try very quickly cool these down. We're just running backup mode for a little bit. Just cool them down ever so slightly, and then we can get pushing once again if we just cool them down for half a lap. Norris is in prime position for a podium finish here. Hopefully we're far enough ahead of the likes of Lynn to maybe get in and out of the pits and then catch him back up, going onto a super soft tyre to finish the race on. Whereas Ocon now, we can get back pushing again on these tyres. They've cooled down a little bit. So let's get back to pushing for a brief period in this race before we start thinking about making our second and final pit stop of the race. We'll try and recover fuel as well. Ocon, meanwhile, is just behind Magnussen. We've got Ricciardo and Bottas just behind, so we'll try and recover the fuel in this little stint, and then we've got some room to push once we get back onto that fresh pair of super softs. We've got 8 laps remaining. Vettel is into the pits here. He's going to get to pushing. He's going to come out into second place, so we're going to see Leclerc pit a little bit later on. Norris could put him under a little bit of pressure here, but is it worth getting off this tyre onto the super soft earlier rather than later? We've seen Wehrlein come in and he's going to go for the undercut, so we're going to just try and cover that off with Ocon. He's going to cover off Wehrlein, see if we can sort of get back out in front here. So we're going to get Ocon pushing once again into the pits. Norris is going to stay out a little bit longer. Obviously he's a little bit clear of the likes of Hamilton, the guys that he's sort of covering off. But Hamilton, I guess, is into the pits this lap, but Norris is actually still going quicker than his last lap here. So Ocon is going to dive into the pits this lap to try and respond, and we've got the cars in front of us as well. It looks like Ricciardo, Magnussen, they've made their pit stop, or was it Hamilton? No, Hamilton has actually stayed out on the soft tyre. So Norris is going to get in this lap for his super soft tyre. We'll keep it safe. And where does Ocon come back out of the pits? He comes back out in 16th place behind these cars. Obviously we've got Hulkenberg, Sainz, who are going a long way in this Grand Prix, and Norris is going to dive into the pits. Where is he going to get back out here? He's got room to push as well, so we're just pushing this super soft all out here, try and clear the cars out in front of us. At the moment we've got Verstappen, who's done his 2 stops. We've got Danny Rick in front, so can we get back into the points here? That is going to be the most important thing, this 2 stop. We've got a lot of the back marker cars that are going for the 1 stop, but it looks like Norris is going to get back out. No, he's gone behind Hulkenberg and Lynn. We're running into the end of the race. Lynn performing better in this Sauber, going for the 1 stop than he did do in the Ferrari in the last race. So Ocon, we've got back up into 11th place here. We've got Danny Rick in our sights. Can we get back up? We've got Perez to clear, Sainz to clear, whereas with Norris we've got Hulkenberg and Lynn to clear. They're going to be running to the end of the race now, running this 1-stop strategy, which would have been a little bit risky for us to do since we started the race on those used super soft tyres. It didn't allow us a room to actually push for the 1 stop, as it has allowed these cars that were outside the top 10 to do. And Norris runs wide here, pushing all out. Norris runs wide. He ends up losing a place to Pascal Wehrlein here. So Norris making a mistake and running wide, whereas Ocon is still struggling with Verstappen. He's right alongside. No, that's Sergio Perez now that he managed to get past. It was not Verstappen in that Force India. Still Daniel Ricciardo in front. Ocon is back up into the points here. So where are we going to be able to move ourselves back up to? We can just keep pushing all out on this tyre as it is. Is it worth it cooling it down here? Ricciardo's actually cooling down as well, so we're going to cool down. We do need to recover fuel though with Ocon. We've got room to push with Norris, so we're just going to cool the tyre down for a lap, and then we're just going to go into full-on attack mode again to finish the race. Norris, meanwhile, we're getting on the back of these cars that haven't pitted yet. We're still trying to cool the tyres down though, so we might be able to get Norris back up into at least 4th place. Pascal Wehrlein, due to Norris running wide, is going to get a podium finish here, it looks like. But if we can just cool these tyres down, we do have some room to push in overtake mode if we get close enough. We'll just try to cool these tyres down at the moment. We'll get back into attack mode, and no, we'll just keep it cool with Ocon for another lap here. We'll get back into attack mode with Norris on, try and clear the Sauber of Alex Lynn. If we can do that pretty quickly, we should get back on the back of Pascal Wehrlein. He is the car that we need to pass. We should be able to get past Hulkenberg before the end of the race, but Hulkenberg's starting to go up the field a little bit here. Ocon, meanwhile, we've sort of cooled him down. We should have enough now to get to the end of the race in medium mode, but Ricciardo's a little bit further up the road. Sainz looks out of range here, whereas Norris, we're just going to have to push. Should we go in overtake mode, try and clear Pascal Wehrlein here. And Hulkenberg running a long way in this Grand Prix. We're into 2 laps to go now. We're in full-on overtake mode. Can we get the move on Pascal Wehrlein? And then back into high mode just to try and get past Nico Hulkenberg. The tyres are fully hot here, which is what we don't want because we're not getting the optimal performance out of these tyres. Whereas Ocon's getting a little bit closer to Ricciardo at the moment. And Norris, meanwhile, still struggling to pass Pascal Wehrlein. Can we do it as we try to follow these cars through the trees? Come on, Norris, you can get past. Norris tries to go around the outside, loses a little bit of time now, so we're going to have to try and recover. Maybe try recover just a little bit for the last lap, and then we can have one last go at pushing as we try cool these tyres down very briefly, and then back into attack mode for the final lap. Can we finally get past Pascal Wehrlein on this final lap? Looks like Ocon's pretty close to Danny Rick as well, pushing all out. We've got Sainz right in front as well, but we'll stick with Norris here as he's right on the back of the Red Bull. And there we go. Have we got the move? Can we go ahead and get to Nico Hulkenberg in front now, whose medium tyres should be wearing away at any point? Can we get back for the podium on the last lap? There's only a few corners to go here. Should we even try overtake mode? We've got a little bit of fuel left. Can we try it and try catch him down the pit straight? Doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it. Norris really pushing the car all out, and just across the line as the fuel is just about running out. Norris can't get back up there. Hulkenberg makes that one-stop strategy really work. Obviously, I think it was just out of our range with having to start the race on the used super softs. It puts Ocon quite far down here. Hamilton, though, outside the points, and the Ferraris picking up a lot of points here with a 1-2 finish for Vettel and Charles Leclerc there in his maiden race. Gets second podium finish. Hulkenberg onto the podium for the first time this season. Renault making that one-stop strategy really work for themselves here. And we can see if the Ferraris were running any risky parts. I don't think anyone will be caught at this point. And where did Alex Lynn actually finish? 6th, so he didn't actually do that much worse in the Sauber than he had been. 3rd with that finish. Lewis Hamilton goes top. Sebastian Vettel on 142 now. Vettel possibly the favourite, because the Ferrari is possibly the best car at the moment in the game. I think they're a little bit ahead of the Mercedes. Charles Leclerc is still in 10th place. He doesn't get to move up just yet, but he's picked up a lot of points, so he will be pushing a little bit further up now. Ferrari are now in 2nd place and in prime position to chase us for this 1st place that we're in, which is going to be a little bit hard now to keep a hold of. As we can see, I don't think we're going to be in a position to win a race before the end of the season. Once again, all our early form was there when, unless we get another rainy race and we can get some luck from the safety cars, but until that happens, I don't think we're going to be able to win another race before the end of the season. The Ferrari and the Mercedes that far ahead, but if Mercedes keep having reliability problems, we could still finish ahead of them, and Red Bull just totally out of sorts this season, only on 76 points. But as we see, we'll just have a quick look here to see how everyone is progressing. Ocon's progressing slowly. Norris is making some big gains in cornering and smoothness. His focus is improving quite a lot as well. So these ones like overtaking, I'm guessing we're going to have to build a test track, which I think we're doing. But we are actually building the test track. So we should see some improvements to the overtaking as well of Norris. But obviously we need to work on his fitness and his consistency, his braking and cornering. So they're the sort of HQ upgrades that we're going to have to build next time. We've actually closed up the little bit of money that we were losing. It's now just over £500,000 due to the sponsor, the new sponsor that we've got on the car at the moment. And there we see Vettel and Leclerc 1st and 2nd. Meanwhile, in Formula 2, Nicholas Latifi wins the race. Nick De Vries 2nd, Ferrucci 3rd, Sean Galeo 4th, Sergio Sette Camera in 5th. And George Russell is there down in 9th. Maximilian Gunther, who was leading in Formula 2, came all the way down in 13th place. He gets knocked off the top. Latifi currently winning F2 at the moment, and ART once again winning in F2. The Arden team are 2nd, Trident 3rd, Prema are 4th. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins there, whether we're going to see the F2 team move up to Formula 1 this time. We don't know. They have rejected it over the last couple of seasons. That's why we haven't actually seen one of the F2 teams move up. They've always rejected promotion to Formula 1. And we'll just get this interview over with. We'll just say Norris needs a little bit of cheering up, although he's at 100%. We'll just say, Norris, if you answer the one, I'm not answering that, you lose marketability. But anyway, that is where we are going to leave this episode. A much improved performance from Ferrari, their 1st win of the season. Gary Horner making the crucial decision of bringing Leclerc into the team and moving Alex Lynn down to Sauber paid off with a 1-2 finish there in Ardennes. The Maranello team now move into their home Grand Prix with a chance of taking the lead from us in the Constructors' Championship. It's only 20 points now, and if they have another race like they did today, they will take the lead after their home Grand Prix. But as I said, that is where we're going to leave this episode, with Ayrton Senna getting a ride on Nigel Mansell's car in the background. We will be back for the Milan Grand Prix tomorrow, but until then, I'll see you down the road. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. But until then, goodbye.